name is Robin Buruchara. I'm currently an advisor to PABRA, but I've had an association with PABRA for quite a while, since 1990, starting as a pathologist, but ending it up as director of PABRA. During that period, I've had an involvement in the two bean atlases that we are talking about in this forum. The first bean atlas was actually initiated or came to being in 1998. There was a reason why it was needed, because with the increase and development of bean research in Africa, we needed a one-stop shop where we could have information resources giving different information that were required by research, by scientists, but also other stakeholders working on beans. Now, the effort to develop the first bean atlas was a big collaborative effort done by PABRA partners. It was led by Dr. Charles Wortman, who worked with a number of SEAD scientists, the national programs, specialists in different universities, and assembled information which was to be used by these stakeholders and others. It was a very popular document, very much used, and it was a one-stop place to get information about beans. But then, after about 10 years of its use, there was a review and a survey to try to find out what was the utility or what else was needed to have it improved. Now, it showed that the research that had taken place during that time, there was more information which was now available, but which was not included in that document. The other aspect was that PABRA, having expanded both in the scope of what they were doing, there was more to it that was not included. The areas like new constraints, the areas in seed systems, there were new technologies developed, new varieties released, and more important and interesting, work on nutrition and in markets. In fact, there were efforts to develop a concept of the bean corridor work that linked demand of what was demanded in the market to research. But also another important element was that PABRA had expanded its regional area of focus. There was a new network in West Africa, which was not factored in the first document. Now, because of this, there was also an interest to consider a format, because we had a document which was in print, but which was static. Now, all this information that was available, it wasn't possible to have it easily updated and included for reference. And therefore, there was a thinking that maybe we needed to have a new format, which was dynamic, which could be updated over time. But in considering things, there was also consideration of new technologies in presenting information. There were new methods and of presenting the visualization, developing of maps, and also there were more data which provided more resolutions when you use platforms like Google Maps. Now, because of this, there was the need to see how do we then improve on the format that was on Bean Atlas 1, and then to develop a new version which could be both dynamic, but also would have information. And not only to have a new information, but as research continues and more information is generated, how would this be presented so that it's more or less up to date and provided an up-to-date information. And this is really one of the reasons, and some of the major reasons why it was necessary to have the Bean Atlas 2, which is now being launched.